Hello, everybody. How is everyone? Today is July 28, 2022. My name is Jose Blasco, and this is the 3D market commentary, where we spend a few minutes looking at five key markets as a preparation for the US Open when the US equity markets will open in 1 hour time. Obviously, today is an important day after following the FOMC meeting yesterday with an expected result, but still very important. And eager to take a look at those charts together with you, my friends. Before we get started, I would like to highlight the financial disclaimer that you have on the upper left side of the screen. So please read it carefully. This is important information. It's fairly short, therefore, I'm counting on you to read it completely. Thank you very much. Here we go. It is being highlighted. So it's time to begin. Let's do it. Here we go. Perfect. So what do we have? On the left, on the right, we have a chart of the S&P ES 1 day daily time frame. Okay, S&P futures daily time frame. What are we looking at here? We are looking at auto climate. We are looking at auto UFOs. We are also looking at market volatility. This is our 3D approach. We look at the climate, which is telling us more about the upcoming market direction. Should we be a buyer? Should we be a seller? What do statistics suggest? We look at the UFOs. These are the on-field orders, buy on-field orders, sell on-field orders, which are responsible for upcoming turning points. So this is how we set entries and exits. And finally, we look at the market volatility, which basically represent the expected upcoming speed of movement for those markets. So we know if certain markets are too boring to be traded, or certain markets are too volatile, too risky, or just nice. Okay. Anyway, with all of this said, let's begin looking at the S&P, which is our first market here. And the information that you see on the screen with the climate, the UFOs, and the market volatility is something that you could get for yourself in your inbox every day. This is what we call our news flash. It's free, it's for everyone. So just follow the instructions on the screen so you can get it for yourself. Cool. So let's begin. What do we have in the S&P? We have a brand new up climate. The prior day was a red climate, but it was non-confirmed. And sure enough, because it was not confirmed, it meant in a way that it was not something that was really powerful enough to rely on. And next thing you know, we just got a change of climate going from red to blue, which is where we are now. Okay, so very relevant change of market conditions where the equity markets are set to continue moving higher. And if that was to be the case, statistics suggest that the normal duration of a climate is 8.69 candles. And this is candle number one. So we are at the beginning of this climate. So in theory, based on stats, lots to expect to the upside. The reason why I'm also mentioning lots to expect to the upside, apart from what Auto Climate says, is also because we don't have on-field orders to buy until we get to 44.32, which is that red UFO right here. Okay. In other words, if the market keeps rallying, so there is price movement, there is room for a 10% increase in price from 4,000 to 4,400. I'm not saying it's going to happen in one shot, in one leg. May imply multiple impulses followed by corrections until we get there, but certainly there is room for this to happen. Now, careful as well, while it's pretty optimistic what I just said, careful as well because there is no green UFO anywhere below price. So if the market was to decide to change direction, we may see a major drop in price. It would be very important for green UFOs to show up on the chart sooner than later. And as we speak, there are none. The nearest one is located at 37.13. So if the market falls, it could fall from 4,000 to 3,700, which is a pretty decent drop. So we're going to have to see what happens. But again, if the climate propagates, typically you would get to see buy orders added to the market, and we'll see green UFOs plotted on the screen real time. Speed of movement, which is the volatility, is expected to be at a rate of 23.32%. This is basically the VIX, which represents the implied volatility of options on the S&P 500 index, which if we reverse engineer the options pricing models, you would conclude that we expect a speed of movement of 58.94 points a day, either up or down, which is also 129 plus points a week, either up or down, which is also 270 points, either up or down in a monthly basis. Okay. That's what we got for the S&P. Notice I've been using AutoClimate, Auto UFOs. You can get those tools on our website if you would like to use them. Notice that AutoClimate is free, so you can go ahead and take a look there. So next market in the list is our crude oil. So let's load crude oil and let's find out what's happening. So crude oil is going up, okay? And again, the climate is down. So we are expecting crude oil to go down, not to go up. But notice that we are having this vertical line pointing down, which is, not too surprising, given the fact that statistics suggest that a down climate lasts 5.81, let's call it 6 candles, and today's candle 6. So it's not that surprising. Okay. Having said that, there is a red UFO around the corner located at 189. So the expectation would be that if crude oil comes to the UFO, we may see crude oil falling. And given the fact that the buy UFO is located so far down at 80.47, we may get a very short duration blue climate, something like that, followed by an extended red climate. I would not be surprised to see something like that. But again, this is to be seen. This hasn't happened yet. And obviously, if, just like on the S&P, we had a green UFO show up on the chart, which is not available yet, but if that was to be the case, then of course I would totally change my analysis here, and now I would expect crude oil to go higher by 6.73 candles. But again, this is not happening. So far, it's temporarily a little bit of a pause on crude oil, but still overall bearish. Speed of movement expected to be at a rate of 48.94%. This is extracted from looking at the implied volatility on options on crude oil. That if we reverse engineer pricing models, this is 3.06 points a day, either up or down, 6.74 points a week, either up or down, 14.02 points a month, either up or down. This is what we got with crude oil, and I am now moving and checking, loading 1, 2, 3, gold to see what's happening there. Okay, so now with gold, what do we have? A little bit of a surprise, actually a pretty big surprise. Gold is, after being just basically one of the most boring markets there is for a while, with nothing going on, then a move, and then nothing going on. Finally now gold is moving aggressively, even though it's moving in the opposite expected direction, which was expected to be down. But now notice the very long gray line showing us a very, very intense change of climate that is happening unexpectedly. Of course, this is directly related to the news announcement yesterday with the FOMC meeting. Obviously, it has a very direct impact to the price of US dollars, but also key precious metals, in this case gold. And again, I'm not too surprised to see this, even though many people may start feeling extremely bullish of gold. But just like with crude oil, there is a red UFO around the corner located at 1783.4. So careful with that, because if that UFO does what it's supposed to do, we're going to be back in a red climate. I mean, we're going to see 1 or 2 of the blue dots in the following days right there. But right after that, we are going to be back into a red climate, okay? Unless that red UFO gets canceled out. And if that was to be the case, then it would go away from the screen, because Auto UFOs plots UFOs in real time. Anyway, GVZ or GVZ is the implied volatility index that tracks options on gold futures, pointing at 17.39%. That is a bit over 19 points, either up or down in a day, a bit over 42 points, either up or down in a week, a bit over 88 points, either up or down in a month. Keep going to the next market, which is the big protagonist of the week, which is the dollar index, isn't it? So looking at the dollar, 1, 2, 3. Here's the dollar. And here, really, to be honest, what's happening, it's more or less what's expected, isn't it? Gold has been going down. The dollar index has been going down aggressively yesterday after the report. I mean, it's kind of like it was priced in. The day before it was trading here. The day after it was trading at the same place where it was the day before when it started trading. So nothing happened. That's basically what it is. And of course, when you have news announcements of that sort, just like what is happening in gold, so it's giving us distortion on the market climate with 2 weeks pointing down. And again, we are back to a red climate, which is fantastic to see because it's a red climate which is not confirmed. And the reason why I say it's fantastic to see is because if the climate remains not confirmed and the market comes to this green UFO, we are about to see something pretty powerful to the upside in the case of the US dollar. Again, I cannot predict the future, obviously, so this is not a guarantee. But again, we got the UFO there, and that was the reason why I mentioned such comment. So 105.44, that's when the on-field to buy are. EVZ pointing at 10.92%. That is 0.73 points a day, either up or down, 1.61 points a week, either up or down, 3.36 points a month, either up or down. And the last market that we're going to analyze is the Bitcoin. In this case, I'm looking at the Bitcoin futures that trades in the ICE exchange. And the Bitcoin future did react to this green UFO. The UFO is still there, didn't go away, so there are still buy orders. So if Bitcoin comes down to 20,000, we may see another bounce. But what's important really is that the climate finally changed from red to blue, and it's confirmed. Okay, it's not like the prior blue dots that were thin. In this case, it's confirmed to be blue and thick dot. So in other words, if we get to see some other green UFO added here in the chart, I would say we got a fair chance to have a pretty interesting increase in price for Bitcoin to reach 29,000 plus, which is, let's call it 30,000. To be precise, 29,432. So that's the type of climate that we have. And again, the green UFO below located at 20,832, which is that green UFO right there. Speed of movement expected to be at a rate of 76.49%. That is 1,100 points a day, either up or down, 2,400 points either up or down in a week, and 5,000 plus points either up or down in a month. And finally, we are looking at economic reports. Definitely some interesting numbers with the GDP in Europe, things like that. But of course, the protagonist for the week, had been. We also have the GDP in the US. Sorry for that, which by the way has been reported 12 minutes ago. But again, the very big protagonist, no matter what, it doesn't matter. Anything else that happened this week matters. It really was yesterday's FOMC press conference. And when I say matters, I mean from a fundamental point of view, for the people watching fundamentals, it was very important when it comes to the impact in the markets. You may argue the equities went down, by 2%, whatever. Yeah, but what about the dollar? The dollar basically went back to where it was the day before. Okay, the day before the announcement. So not that relevant. It was super expected, and plus there are many other things that move the price of the markets beyond a specific economic report. Of course, that creates intraday volatility, but it doesn't mean it's going to change the world. Okay, cool, my friends. We just reached the end of the session. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it, and this is being useful to you as a preparation for the trading session in 45 minutes now, as the U.S. equity markets begin their trading and the bell, is being hit. I will see you in the next one, that is tomorrow. And also for the ones who are trading options and being part of our coaching plan, I will be streaming live on our website at 11 a.m. in New York, doing options trading. We have lots of things to do there. See you around. Take care, my friends, and trade well. Bye-bye, everybody.